All right, good morning, everyone. Just want to do my recap for today. Did really well, as you can see. $650 up in the first 9 minutes of the day. I could have kept trading a little bit longer and maybe made a little bit more, but something I've learned from past experiences is you take the money while you have it. Don't push it too hard because very quickly you can lose the gains that you had. Alright, so this morning, the only stock I traded, I think I took 4 trades. Yeah, 4 trades. 2 buys, 2 sells. VIVE came out the gates, jumped up a little bit first, and then came back down to this part. Does a little bit of consolidation for a little bit, which you can see is happening right here. And so made me want to wait a little bit to get into this stock to see which direction it was going to go. This particular stock, for at least for TD Ameritrade, shows that it is hard to borrow, so I couldn't just take a short position really quickly and get out of a short position really quickly. So I didn't have the option to trade it to the short side. It was only going to be to the long side for this stock. So anyway, I'm anticipating a long side because that's the only thing I can do with this stock. And so that's what it does here. And this these are 1 minute candlesticks. So 1, 2, 3. In the 4th minute, it starts to show up. It's going up. 5th minute, same story. It's going up. I decide to get in here. My first entry is at 570. Quickly, it shoots up, and I go to sell my position. I think it was showing me over here that I was something like, I think it was $400 or $500, something like that, up. And I went and I hit sell market, and because the orders over here were lower than what the current value was, it actually sold to a lower number. So I ended up selling at 575 instead of like 580 or whatever it was at the time, which is fine. And that could have just been slippage too. If things are coming down as well, then sometimes they'll sell it there. If you didn't want to take that same way of selling, you didn't want to hit market sell, or sorry, over here, market sell, you could always just come over to this window and be like, I want to sell it at 615, boom, and then it would, outside of slippage, because you can have a little bit of slippage, you're going to sell probably within 3 cents of that mark, more often than not. Alright, so I bought, sold. Next minute, it's screaming up again, so I was like, I'm going to get in. And kind of the same thing happened. I was trying to get in at like 590 area. But because it was going up so fast, it ended up filling my order at 598, which was the high end. 598 is basically the top of this candlestick, and that wasn't necessarily where I wanted to get in, because pretty quickly in the next minute it was down to 88, so I was down $500, getting in at 98, and then down to 88, down $500. Now I had made $250 on this trade, so I wasn't down. I was down 250, I guess, $300 anywhere in that range during this drop, and I was like, oh no, if it starts to be done, because a lot of times in the beginning of the morning is when you're going to get a lot of your momentum. So I was worried that it was going to keep coming down. So I was starting to think about where's my stop loss at, and potentially give today as a loss. Then this minute comes in, and you can't really see it in the recap video because it's not real time. In real time, I had decided once it dropped down here that I was going to put a sell at 650 or 605. So I came over here and boom, clicked it at 605 to, if it did come up at that point, then it would sell. And that was just to protect myself because I had no idea, obviously, that this candle was coming. Hindsight's 2020. Had I known this candle was coming, obviously I wouldn't have sold. I would have put my sell at 640. And I say below 644 just because if hindsight knew that was coming, I would want to be 100% sure that sell happened. But anyway, so I put it for 605 and it sold. I don't remember if it's. I think it sold in this candle, and then this one opened and then it screamed up a lot. And I was like, dang, if I'd have been in, it would have been a $2,000 a day. Or roughly, I don't know how much it would have been, but it would have been a bigger day. And this is what it's currently been doing since I got out. But I'm really happy with today's trade. $650, first 9 minutes of the day. That amount of money, if you could do consistently daily, would definitely keep the job away. If I could do that for a year, I would stop working full time, and the stock market would become my full time job. Indicators I was watching, one obviously is volume. As volume comes in, you can see that's where big movement happens. Look at this one, big movement happens. MACD's coming up, so it's showing strength for this stock. And then right here at 644, when it gets to the top of that and it starts coming down, if you were still in it, that's where you'd want to look at, okay, time to get out probably, because it drops down quite a bit here and the MACD's coming down. Same thing for the RSI. At that point, it's starting to come back down. It's been overbought for a long period of time, so it's a good time to look at getting out. And the demand also is coming down at this point. When I decided to get out, it looked like it was leveling out and still upwards direction of the RSI, but what it did here went up as opposed to what it did here started to come down. And there's no way to be 100% for sure what's going to happen, so you have to give your best estimated guess, essentially is what it is. But it should be an educated guess as opposed to a hope or I just feel that this is what's going to happen. You got to take the feelings, you got to take the hope out of the stock market, because it doesn't care about either of those. It will bring you up and throw you down just right away. So I mean, there's no. You got to take the hope and the feelings out of it. It's got to be super, honestly, robotic. It's got to be. You got to take gains when you have them. There's really no better way to say it. If you had a lot of money and let's say I made $20,000 over the last couple days, I'd have a little bit of a buffer to be a little bit more risky. But with my current challenge of trying to do or of changing week over week, going back to day one, week over week, I'm really almost never going to have that buffer. Tomorrow I'll have a little bit of a buffer, but just like I made $650 paper money today, tomorrow, if I'm not careful, I can lose $650 in an instant. So when you have gains, take them. Be happy with the profits you get, because green is good. And anyway, that's how my trades went today. That's kind of the indicators I was looking at, the trend lines I was watching. You can see how it follows this middle VWAP pretty closely, and it came down here, went back up, and see now it just popped below the VWAP. Tons of sell volume, and so there's good chances that this thing could start coming down. But there's no guarantee. We'll see what happens throughout the rest of the day. I'll probably look at it later and trade again tomorrow. Thank you. See you later.